Welcome to Plumbing Professors Radio, where you can ask the experts your questions on plumbing, drains, and sewers. The professors are always in.
Good morning, Detroit, and our Sunday morning listeners. Welcome to the first ever Plumbing Professors Radio. I'm Wendy Mountain, here with my husband, Steve.
Good morning.
And our resident expert and master plumber, Matt O'Rourke.
Good morning, Wendy.
Folks, what we'd like to ask you to do today is sit back, relax, get a cup of coffee, and stay with us because we have an action-packed hour.
Can you imagine that, guys? I mean, we are a plumbing company coming on the radio to help homeowners and building owners fix and prevent plumbing problems. Man, that's pretty exciting stuff.
For a whole hour, we're going to try to keep you awake.
Right, and it's going to be dirty stuff. I mean, we're talking about plumbing here, but we're here to help you. So our phone number is 248-356-1270. Don't be afraid. Call in, ask that question that's been bothering you for a long time. We're here to help you.
And, Matt, we should tell the listeners why we came up with Plumbing Professor Radio and what we hope to accomplish.
That's a good point. You know, we go to over 2,000 people's homes and businesses throughout a month, and we take phone call after phone call after phone call. And the most common thing we hear is, so-and-so told me to do this, or should I do that, or what is this? And a lot of stuff is foreign to people. They don't understand that plumbing is in every single building that's on this earth.
Well, not only do they not understand it, they've been taught to not trust what they hear.
Absolutely, and there's so much money being wasted. We're going to talk about how to conserve water.
And we take plumbing for granted, guys. We use it every day, and we just don't think about it. The only time it really becomes an issue is when it suddenly stops working. And then most people, if you asked 100 people, only about 15 would really know who to go to get help with plumbing.
Oh, and Wendy, how would you like to wake up in the morning to a cold shower?
Oh, that's happened to me, and it's not a nice thing to happen.
No, that's gonna ruin your whole day, isn't it?
It did ruin my whole day.
Absolutely. So we're here to help. Again, please call. You can email your question going to plumbingprofessors.com. There's an Ask a Question tab. Go ahead and click on that, and you can email us your questions. We'll be able to answer them on air for you.
You know, guys, I have to tell you, there was a time when I couldn't publicly say the word toilet. I mean, because a lady didn't talk that way. Now, I have to tell you, since people have found out that I work for a plumbing company, I'm like the most popular person at the cocktail parties.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
And if I hadn't been there and witnessed that, I wouldn't believe it. We were actually at a party a year ago, and somebody asked Wendy what she did, and she said, I'm in the plumbing business. And the next thing you know, she was the center of attention. And it was real. It was nonstop questions about everyday things.
They just want someone that they trust.
That's all, and that's all it is. And people, you know, especially plumbers, we have a hard time translating our information to the homeowner. You know, a lot of people might hear us and we think that they understand what we're talking about, but there's many times where we'll get calls after we've made a recommendation saying, okay, I don't quite understand what this means.
Yeah,
or
give it to me again.
Give it to me again, or slow down. Or, you know, we're pretty big on drawing pictures, you know, because you have to be able to understand what we're looking at because, you know, our terminology is not going to be terminology that a homeowner will know.
No, and it's important to remember for us, we are plumbing, sewer, and drain experts. That is all we do. We don't do anything else. So you're not going to embarrass us. You're not going to shock us. You can't ask a question that we probably haven't already heard or experienced. But give us a call and we'll make a run at it. Because if we can't solve it, it's probably not solvable.
That's right.
But the other thing is not everything we do is evil or smelly. I mean, we can talk about some new cool trends and handy gadgets that are on the market.
Well, that's what's really exciting.
Yeah.
There are so many technologies to save water, to save energy, and everybody else is doing it. And the plumbing industry is doing a pretty good job of that too. And I know a lot of people had negativity as far as reducing the amount of water a toilet uses. Well, I'll tell you what. The toilets are they've remanufactured them. They made them better. The engineering is far better than it was when they made that restriction a couple years ago.
Well, early on when the low-flow toilets came out, they didn't work well, and they really did get a bad rap.
That's true.
Today, though, they've really engineered them. They work great. They'll save you a ton of money. You can't believe how many times people in a home flush.
I can tell you how many times. The average person flushes 5.1 times. I am a good time at a cocktail party, I'll tell you.
Exactly. Yeah, that must be fun. And Kohler would like to hear that, too. You know, Kohler's got toilets that are comfort height now. They use 1.28 gallons of water per flush instead of 5 or 3.5 or even 1.6. There's water-free urinals. Yeah, there's actually urinals that don't need any water at all, and they still work good. So there's all kinds of things that you can ask us on, and we're willing to help you. And we're going to make you understand.
And, you know, Matt, when we when we were rehearsing and getting ready for this show, we did a lot of research, and what we found out is that a gallon of water costs, depending on what city, just shy of a penny per gallon. So when you flush a 1.2 or a 5 gallons use of water in a garage or wherever, you're talking roughly, let's say a penny per gallon.
So Steve, you're telling me that a gallon of water only costs a penny?
Yes.
So am I paying a little too much when I pay $2 for a bottle of water?
Well, you are, but that's a whole nother radio station.
No kidding. Yeah.
Don't
A
try
whole
to
nother
flush a toilet with
right?
it.
Wow. That's amazing that it costs that little to run a gallon of water.
Well, and for us with the show here, what we wanted to accomplish is we see plumbing, sewer, and drain problems every day. That's really what we specialize at. And we get people who call us when they're in trouble, when water's coming out of the ceiling, when the basement's flooded, when they've heard that they have to tear up a driveway and rip it up because they have tree roots. And we have solutions that we can share with you that can solve some of those problems without disturbing anything around your home. And that's something I think you'll be interested in if you have those problems.
Well, on top of that, there's options. There are always options. I mean, not everybody's going to be able to go through their entire home and replace all the supply lines with braided supply lines or put in the backup sump pump. But in the meantime, what can we do as a homeowner and as a plumbing company to educate the homeowners? This is out there. This is what you can do. This is what you should look forward to in the future.
And guys, one thing we want to share with you, Plumbing Professors is a unique company. We never, ever charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. So if you do call us today, we will come out today for the same that would cost you tomorrow or Christmas or New Year's. There's no difference. So if you do have an emergency on a Sunday, you don't have to say, oh, I can't fix it till tomorrow because of the cost. So call us today. You can call us today at 800-654-1300, 1300.
Or ask us a question, 248-356-1270. We do not charge overtime ever, whether it's 12 o'clock at night, whether you're working days, afternoons. You can schedule an appointment when it makes sense for you.
That is exciting.
Well, Matt, I'm really excited to report we have our first email question from the plumbingprofessors.com website.
Oh.
It's from Mary Ann in Grosse Pointe. She said, I always hear a flushing sound from our upstairs toilet when no one is upstairs. What is this, and should we be concerned?
Well, now that is an appropriate question this time of the year because we get that a lot at the office, and people think their house is actually haunted. So, here we are right around Halloween, but it's something we call phantom flushing. Tell us about it, Matt.
Yeah, phantom flushing is pretty much when your toilet is leaking from the tank, the part that everyone sets their decorations on, when it leaks down into the bowl, eventually that bowl fills up with enough water to actually create a flush. And so that's why it does it on its own. The laws of gravity will tell you that. When
so it's not really a ghost.
It's not really a ghost, and no one's flushed in the toilet by no means. But the best thing, this is an easy fix that a homeowner can do themselves. Find out the make and model of that toilet, Marianne. So you're going to want to see if it's a Mansfield, if it's a Kohler. Find out the make and model and go to your local Ferguson supply store. Give them those numbers, and then they'll be able to match up exactly what you need to fix that toilet, and then they'll give you instructions. You'll simply shut the water off, you'll replace the flapper, the gasket, and then you'll be all set to go.
And guys, if you couldn't keep track of that, you can call us at 1-800-654-1300 anytime, 24 hours a day. We never sleep. We say that on the website, and we really mean it. You can call there, and we can give you the same answer in case you didn't get a chance to copy all that down.
Yeah. Matt, as soon as you said flapper, I was done.
And I'm a master plumber, not a radio talk show host, too. So being that this is our first one, it might go a little fast, and there's a little nerves kicking. So please take your time and ask us over and over and over. Don't be afraid to call this show and ask us questions.
Guys, we're plumbing, sewer, and drain experts. We really don't know much about radio, so please call us when you can. And something else we should talk about is that phantom flush. That's money. It literally money down the drain. Remember, it's roughly a penny a gallon when your toilet flushes.
Yeah, we joked about the cost of that, but if you have a toilet running over and over and over, that is a lot of money. There was a good story that I heard a couple years ago. With the wars in Iraq, we have a lot of servicemen going over to the wars, and they're there for months. This gentleman came back home from Iraq and had a water bill of $5,000 plus because of a running toilet. And of course, the city is not going to try to help you out cut that cost because it's water being used and going down the drain. So it can get very expensive. If you fix that toilet the first time you notice it leaking, you're going to save or probably pay for that repair.
Well, the statistics are that you'll save as much as 100 gallons of water per day.
That's $1 a day.
Yeah. So
that's a lot. And when you think of a family of four, what did we read on a family of four? Typical days, 2,500 gallons for a day.
Well, each person in your household is going to flush your toilet about 5 times per day. That's a national average. So you can imagine it adds a lot of cost, not to mention the wear and tear on your plumbing system.
Well, and keep in mind that 2,500 gallons a day for a family of 4 is not just the toilet. It's washing your hands, it's doing laundry, it's probably showers, but that's a lot of water. And again, at a penny per, that adds up.
Also, if you have a septic tank, that is a tank that's going to fill up with water. So if you have a leaking faucet, a leaking toilet, that septic field is going to just fill up with water a lot quicker than it would if that wasn't leaking. So there's
it
other
all
reasons.
goes to your backyard?
Not everybody's, but we can talk about that. If you live in the country or a rural area, you probably have a septic field or a tank. That will fill up.
Guys, when we come back, we're going to tell you about the one valve in your house that every teenager or older should know how to use. It can save you a ton of aggravation, and you'll want to know about this. You're on 1270 AM, the New Talk Radio.